Divine accessories, never before seen in Hypixel Skyblock. But what if it actually happened? How strong would they be? Which accessories deserve to be at the peak of magical power? Well, I hope you're asking those questions because I made a thread about it. Not enough accessories. A suggestion thread made by yours truly, going over several small changes to accessories, including a better introduction quest, divine rarity accessories, some completely new accessories, and more. The link to the thread will be down in the description below. So if you like it, I'd appreciate you showing your support there. Also, feedback is also much appreciated, so if you have any feedback or ideas of your own, let me know down in the comments or on the thread itself. Now, without further ado, let's get into the actual update. Now, it's been a while since I've made a suggestion thread, but I did my best to make it look all nice and fancy and well formatted, so I hope you appreciate that as much as I do. That aside though, this is the new introduction quest. And I say new because there is technically a quest available, and that is through the Redstone Miner. But it's really not much of an introduction quest. Really all he tells you is to go talk to Maxwell, and that's it. So if you forget to go talk to Maxwell or don't know where he is, good luck I guess, because that's all you're gonna get. With that in mind, I did create an actual quest. I figured one of the NPCs players are almost guaranteed to talk to when they start the game is Rusty. He is in the gold mines, which is one of two places I see new players go to, and I feel like it's just out of the way enough to where players aren't completely overwhelmed with a ton of new mechanics as soon as they enter the hub. Players will still have some time to go run around and do whatever new players do, but when they go to the gold mines they'll be introduced to one of the core mechanics of the game, that being accessories. He'll say a little dialogue, and give you a new accessory, the Dusty Talisman. Like the Redstone Miner, he'll tell you to go talk to Maxwell for more information, except he'll actually tell you where Maxwell is. There's also a quest log in your Skyblock menu, and if you check there, you'd be able to find exact coordinates to the Thaumaturgist. When you actually make your way to Maxwell, he'll also say a little dialogue, and offer to clean the Dusty Talisman. Then he'll ask you if you know about accessories. If you do, you can skip the explanation. But if not, he'll give the same dialogue that he already gives. Then he'll take 20 minutes to clean the Dusty Talisman. If you're wondering why 20 minutes, it's so players actually have to remember where the Thaumaturgist is, and return there after a short period of time. That way, new players are more likely to remember where this place actually is. And it's just a little important if I do say so myself. After 20 minutes, the player will receive a little message in chat. And upon returning to Maxwell, he'll not only give you the newly cleaned shiny talisman, but he'll also give you 2 free accessory bag slots. This is so, players who may or may not have the Redstone collection unlocked can still use the talisman they're given. It's not a big quest or anything super innovative, but I think something like this would do the job well enough. The introduction quest won't have to tell players everything about accessories, but it needs to at least introduce them to it, which you can barely say about what we have now. But onto something you might be a little more interested in. New items. Here we have the Personal Compactor Compactor, combined with a Personal Compactor 7000 to grant it plus 3 compacting slots. And this can be applied multiple times to the same Personal Compactor. Recipe is on the right here, and it does include a new item, Enchanted Compressed Cobblestone, which just requires 160 Enchanted Cobblestone. This is just so players don't have to fill a third of their inventory with Personal Compactors. Instead, they can continuously upgrade a single Personal Compactor and compact as many items as they need to. Also, just as a little Easter egg thing, when you add your first Personal Compactor to a Personal Compactor 7000, it gets turned into a Personal Compactor 7050. The name change doesn't really do anything, it's just there because I like the idea of it. And I make the update, so I get to add the things that I like. Wow. And next is the Recombobulator 4000, which is the exact same as a normal Recombobulator, but it's recombobulated. It also has another feature where if you recombobulate a Recombobulator 4000 with another Recombobulator 4000, that gets turned into a Recombobulator 5000. And this will be the key to getting divine accessories. Essentially, it's just a creative way to combine 4 Recombobulators together, because while it would be simpler to just do it in a crafting table, I just feel like this is a little more fun. And spoiler alert, there's only going to be 2 divine accessories, so it's not like you're going to have to do this a ton of times. At most you're only going to do it twice, and you'll be so far into the game it won't really matter. And now the moment you've all surely been waiting for, divine accessories. These will grant 30 MP and doubled enrichment stats. Yes, it's strong, but again there's only going to be 2 divine accessories, and it should probably stay this way for a good amount of time. I don't think just any accessory deserves to be divine rarity, and even things like hegemony or artifact of control, while they do cost a lot of money, they also only cost a lot of money. If something is gonna be divine rarity, it should require something more than just spending a lot. Like Book of Progression. While you do need to spend a lot of money to get to Skyblock level 450, there's also a lot more you have to do that isn't just spending money. And same with Pandora's Box. The whole concept behind it is you do a bunch of wacky challenges you normally wouldn't do, and while some of them do require you to spend a bunch of money so you can get the gear needed to actually complete these challenges, there's still the added requirement of doing the challenges. In my opinion, that's what a divine accessory should be. Something that does cost a lot of money, but also requires something more. An additional grind or some difficult challenges, something that's just more than spending money. But anyways, as for the actual changes to these two accessories, the Book of Progression, the mythic rarity requirement is lowered from Skyblock level 400 to 375, and the divine rarity requirement is added at Skyblock level 450. But for this to actually become divine rarity, you need to combine a mythic Book of Progression in an anvil with a Recombobulator 5000. And before you question my decision of lowering the mythic rarity requirement, this is actually more in line with how the Book of Progression progresses. With this change, every rarity upgrade takes 75 Skyblock levels, whereas before, Mythic required 100 Skyblock levels, while all the other ones required only 75. As for Pandora's Box, the Mythic rarity requirement is lowered from 20 to 19 challenges completed. Now the reason I chose 19 specifically is because there are 19 common to legendary challenges. The 20th challenge is actually a special challenge. Of course, you don't have to complete them all in order, but the point is, when you do all the challenges, you can recom the Mythic Pandora's Box to divine rarity using a Recom 5000. And now for the less drastic changes. Runebook. You should just be able to recom this. I don't know why you can't. Odger's Tooth. You can now star this accessory for the same cost as a single piece of hunter armor, and doing so will increase its stats by 2% per star. It'll also upgrade its rarity when you 10-star it, turning it into a legendary accessory. Personal Compactor. Should work with Slayer materials. It already works with enchanted cookies and enchanted golden carrots, so I don't know why it doesn't work with things like Rev Viscera. Wood Affinity Talisman. Its rarity is nerfed from uncommon to common. This way it's more consistent with other area affinity talismans, and it balances its MP around a new accessory being added that combines all these accessories together. To compensate for the MP loss, the Archaeologist's Compass will now upgrade its rarity when all relics are found. And these are more so flavor changes. None of this stuff is game affecting, but it's still things that I personally think should be changed. And to wrap up the thread, we have 4 new accessories. The first one being the Crowned Pig's Foot. Grants +1 speed, +1 potato fortune, and +1 combat wisdom. This is an upgrade to the Pig's Foot and should still be soulbound, but I just forgot to add the text in. It requires 1 Pig's Foot, 1 Art of War, 1 Art of Peace, 4 Shiny Shards, and 2 stacks of Enchanted Baked Potatoes. Yes, it further references Technoblade, and the main reason I thought of adding this was because the Frozen Chicken also got an upgrade. With that and the Cheetah Talisman, both the Pig's Foot and the Wolf Paw are the last 2 racing accessories to receive upgrades. And at least for the Pig's Foot, I do think this one would be pretty nice. Next is the Land Affinity Artifact. And this is partially why I decided to nerf the Wood Affinity Talisman, because although it doesn't show a recipe here, this artifact combines the Wood, Mine, Farm, and Village Affinity Talismans. Assuming all 4 of those are common accessories, you get a total of 12 MP from that. If you recom all of them, that becomes 20. The Land Affinity Artifact not only gives more MP total, but it also opens up 3 slots in your accessory bag. Personally, I think this is something we could see more of in the future. Being able to combine multiple low rarity accessories into a single higher rarity accessory would be an interesting way to open up more accessory slots. Next is the Pigfinity Bank. It's basically the piggy bank but with an upgraded rarity. And when it does break, it'll magically repair itself after 1 hour. This way you won't have to repair it yourself. The shattered version also saves more coins than the cracked version of the normal piggy bank. And the final accessory, the Rancher's Orb, increases the regrowth rate of nearby crops on public islands, regrowing an extra crop every 2 seconds. This is just here because it's the ability of the Farmer's Orb, but what really matters is its second ability. Set a maximum amount of speed. Basically, it's the Rancher's Boots but as an accessory. This way, later game players can more reasonably use Fermento Boots. But where does this place Rancher Boots? Well, they should very much still have a place in progression. For one, if we do look at the recipe, the Rancher's Orb requires 1 Farmer's Orb, a stack of polished pumpkins, and 4 condensed fermentos. The orb itself also requires farming 40 to use. Not only is the recipe over 4 times as expensive as Rancher Boots, but the orb also requires 18 more farming levels. Rancher Boots will absolutely still be useful in this game. That is something no one has to worry about. Of course, when you do get the Rancher's Orb, you don't technically need to use Rancher's Boots anymore, but that's also just how progression works in this game. As long as an item is useful for a good amount of time, it's hard to say the item is ever worthless, really. And that was Not Enough Accessories. Just a small accessories update. Remember, if you do like these ideas, be sure to go to the link in the description below and show your support on the thread. If you have any feedback, let me know down in the comments of this video or on the thread itself. Again, it's been a while since I've made an actual suggestion thread, but this was pretty fun. If this video does turn out well, I'll probably make another one. Honestly, I've had a lot of ideas for this game, but just never had the time to actually make a thread about all of them. But hey, if I can multitask and make a thread and video about the same thing, might as well, right? But with that said, thank you all for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.